Hello devs, Sid the IT guy here, and I'm all out of ideas for the Laravel framework. So if you have any good project idea that I can broadcast on my YouTube channel and teach you guys how to build products in Laravel, please let me know in the comments box. But for now, I am moving on towards ExpressJS, which is a simple Node.js based framework. And the target here is to build a chat app which can mimic the behavior of WhatsApp, and we will use Socket.io and ExpressJS framework and MySQL database with it. Now, this is a separate playlist, so I will keep posting videos on this chat app, and as we go along with the project, I will introduce Redis and MongoDB in some shape or form into this project, so we can have a better idea on how we can scale the app up to a level where it can support thousands of users using it at one time. So let me present my screen and show you what the objective of this video is, and let's begin. Okay, so as we know, the WhatsApp web is a web application which looks like this, and we can click on any user and they will show us the chat history for the user. So for this, I have taken a basic HTML template, which is right here, and it does have all the components we need, like sending photos or gallery or something attachment with it, and a search bar up top with the list of people that we have been messaging, and on the click event we can show the chat history based on the timestamps. All right, so this seems good enough to work with. We will have a simple login screen, and we can just create our account. I'll keep it very simple, and ideally it should be phone number validation, so we can have that if we want it, or we can just have email validation in the first build for it. And yeah, that's it. I think this would cover our use case for the simple app, and yeah, let's begin. So I have opened up the documentation for ExpressJS, and I have initialized a repository which is mentioned in the description box. Please be sure to check that out. And I have started up a simple ExpressJS project where I have provided these details, and I have taken Express version 4.18, and that's what I'll be working with. Okay, so now that we have our objective out of the way, we can start the project. So npm install express is the first command that we run to have the dependencies in our app. So I have started creating a server.js file, which will be the center point of the app where the execution will start. So we can just copy this much, paste it. Let's make it port 3000 is fine. Rest send, maybe we can, let's try out this render file. So let render, we will render pages slash template. I'm sorry. Yeah. And instead of HTML file, let's rename this to have EJS extension, because ExpressJS only works with EJS view files, and that's what that is. It will listen on port 3000. After that, we can just do node server.js. Yeah, so now it is running on port 3000, and let's hit this URL localhost 3000. Let's see. Oh, no default engine was specified. Okay, so I think at this point we would have to specify the generators, and yeah, so we can application skeleton. We don't, do we need that? Yeah, let's install this. So npm install -g. Now, why is it Jade? Okay. All right, maybe we can take these code and use it in server.js and maybe we can delete it. So, okay, let's copy this, put it here, and get rid of this. We don't need views file. Um, hmm. Routers, we do need it because we want to keep API.js routes inside this because there is just one page to work with, which is the login page, and after that, the chat page. So the API.js will help us fetch the conversation details for the particular user. Images, JavaScript style sheets, we don't really need it, so let's delete that. Template.js, yeah. So in package JSON, we can delete Jade, Morgan. Let's keep Morgan as it is. Yeah. And after that, maybe we can search for app render. Okay. npm install EJS view. npm install EJS. Yeah. We have to also do no daemon. Then we can set view engine. Where is the view engine in this? Jade. So we don't need Jade. We can just EJS. Yeah. And after that, we can just do pages. App.set. Hmm. ExpressJSON, cookie parser, static. This thing is fine. Users router. Then we can do app use API as. Oh, then you can just click this, copy it here. Yeah, this seems good enough. Is there an export variable here? Oh, here we go. Var API router equals require routes API. Then we can say API router. Hmm. Where does it listen to though? It's 3000 logger dev EJS. Okay, cool. So index router, let's go to index router. Let's render pages slash template, and let's see what happens here. HTTP errors, npm I HTTP errors. Now which one is it? This time Express. So let's just run npm install. Let's see. Yep, port 8000. Why is it running on 8000? Actually, it is running on port 3000. We should rename that. Maybe we can define a const variable. Port equals 3000. Then we can say port, and here port 3000. After that, let's see. Look up view error. So it kind of think it did throw an error. So okay, JSON error message. Failed to look up view this thing. Okay. Why is it failing? Is it this thing? Or is it var prefix equals pages? Prefix plus template. Oh, here we go. So I think we need to we had to define a pages prefix here. Yeah, and we can use that variable pages prefix plus template. There we go. So um, in the get route, base route, we have the thing up and running. Now we can work on probably the login screen and whatnot. Okay, so let's set up authentication and let's find out on this page reload, if the user is not authenticated, then they should be sent to the login page, and let's implement some kind of middleware. Express Okay, maybe we can define the database structure at this point. Let me chalk up how the database will look like and I'll get back here. So at this point, I have in index.js, I have defined couple middlewares and couple routes. So we have the login route, which is using the middleware check no auth, because obviously we don't want to render the login page if the user is already logged in. So this is how we are checking it. We are just checking the request session user ID index, and if it is undefined, then we are taking action accordingly, or taking another action like that. So check no auth and check auth are two middlewares which are defined here itself, because this is where we are using it. And we have a post request, post route for login, where it is checking the check no auth middleware, where it is taking the email password and just running a simple query, and it is determining whether it is the correct credentials or not. It looks kind of basic right now, I'll admit, but we can look into SQLize and proper middleware handling and components like that later in the project. So this is like the starting version of the project that we are working with. It will grow and it will mature as we go along. Okay, so yeah, now that we have it, so let's run. Oh, I have installed a couple packages here, which is Express Session and MySQL. And in database.js, you will see a simple MySQL variable being used to create a connection, and we are just exporting the variable connection here. And in MySQL db.txt, you will see two tables that I've created. I didn't see a use case for multiple tables, so I just created users and chats table, where the chats table will have the user ID, the recipient ID, and the message, and that's it. We are not dealing with much here, and the users table only has email and password. Right, login.js is kind of empty. I have to take a default bootstrap templated, let me just type out here so we can make sure that it is reaching here. Okay, so now we can run node server.js. Session is not defined. Where is it? Server.js 27. Require express session. Yeah. Yeah, MySQL database is also connected successfully, because in database.js, we are console logging this thing here. It looks really basic, I admit, but we can work on it later. Okay, so let's hit localhost 3000. It says here, that means it is correctly going to the login page and the middlewares are working properly. Okay, so let's design the login page with a simple bootstrap template, and I'll get back here. Okay, at this point, our login and logout are working perfectly. It took a little bit of debugging here and there, but now we are able to determine if the user is logged in or not, because if I hit the base URL, I get sent back to the login page. In which case, if I do 3, 4, 5, 6, and I hit enter, then I get sent to this page which has the check auth middleware. So at this point, we are perfectly sure with the login and logout functionality, and we can continue. So the first thing that I want to do is at the last page, at the last icon, I want to put the logout button. So let's go to the template page. Actually, this shouldn't be even called the template page anymore. We should call the chat page. So rename it to chat index. So you can call it chat. Yeah. Refresh. Oh, we are getting logged out each time we restart the server. Okay. Yep. So we are here, and yeah, it's fine now. So in the beginning stage, there would be nothing here, and it would just say, please select a user, and that's how it will work. So let's do the thing here in chat. Yeah. Oh, this is totally messed up. Okay, so I'll untangle this and let's move a little bit ahead. And we are back. So at this point, the logout button is working. At the top right, we have it right here. So it says localhost 3000 logout. and the HTML code is kind of like indented a little, so it looks nice. So we can see that so there is an image going on with each of the user. So here what we can do is use the same thing. We don't care that much. Bootday.com, we can use these avatars, so we can have that. So in MySQL db.txt, I can add like 5 or 6 users where I can say insert into Alex, Louis. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to put the email addresses. Okay. So for the first thing we can do is, let's say, alter table, users, add column, name, varchar. We can put 100. Default null after email. Then we can say alter table, users, add column, avatar, long text, default null after name. Copy these two. Done. After that, so we can say name, email, password, and the password will be 1234556. Simple enough. Cool. So let's continue. And so the first thing that I will see here, it's no messages at this window. So okay, so we can save that. So you can work with these values. Okay, so let's close this out. API.js also close out. Login.js. Also close this out. Okay, so chat.js. Okay, so what data do we need to render before we render this page? We need to know what the previous conversations with everybody was, and if there is somebody that can be there. Okay, so for the null state, we can say in here we go. Try catch error. Error message. After that, we can say so for the sidebar, we would have to check the chats table on how many recipients they have. So let's write the query. Sidebar query equals select distinct recipient ID from chats join users you on c dot messages or any kind of history with the current authenticated user. So at this point we should also not show anything here and anything here. We can just say here are the users, pick one to send a message to. Okay, so let's build that. When the user logs in, they don't have anybody to chat to, so it will say select any user, then they can click on these buttons from for anybody. And the code here is quite simple, just a simple table with TD elements in it. And in index.js, I had to use promises instead of database.query because it was not working properly for me. So you can check out the code in index.js. The code is simple. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment and let me know. And yeah, this is the first. Yeah, let me just start. Oh, here we go. So if we click start chatting, then we can actually start to chat. Yeah, so in chats, you can see that there is one message. So let me delete this row once again. Yeah, so if I refresh, then I can start a chat with anybody. So let's say Linda, and let's in chat.js, we should, okay, so the name is not showing up. Now we have to see why the name is not showing. Okay, so in this thing, we have to do u dot name. Refresh, 456. Here we go. Linda is showing, and I can just choose any. Let's just populate some avatars. So if I inspect this, 9. Yeah, this should be good enough. So now if I refresh, yeah, this came. So we can say that everybody is offline for now, since we, yeah, since we are logged in and nobody else is. So we can write logic to mark yourself online when you log in, and have read receipts or things like that. So let's build that, and this will be a continuous video. So if at this point you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll be happy to answer that. And thank you. I'll see you in the next one.